What's up, everybody out there on YouTube? Bryce Michael RC here again. This video was actually going to be just a review of these 1960 kV motors that I got from Axis Flying, 2207 1960 kV motors. But then I thought to myself, like, I don't really want to. I mean, they're budget motors. Go get you some if you want some. They're super cheap. I just went and bought them because I had the 1860 motors, and somebody suggested the 1960 motors. So now I've got those on another drone, and they're actually pretty good. I actually like them. So these are like the first two packs that I did with those motors, and they were just like first impressions and such. If you're watching, that's kind of the background behind this video. You know, I started editing the video, and I started going through in that video that I made about remote ID. Seems like a lot of people really liked it. There was a lot of comments. I tried to go through every comment. I tried to at least like or respond back to as many as I could. And for some reason, YouTube's not showing me all of them at all times. I tried to go back through and comment to every one of them, but some of them just aren't showing. So, but what I would like to do today, while this video is playing, rather than doing a review, I want to go through, I want to go show you. You guys are genius. Like, genius level unlocked. This is like my favorite video I think I've ever made because just the comments have been totally amazing. Like, there's been some informative ones, and I've had some comments back. There's some pretty good information in it, but what I wanted to get to is these comments here. They are freaking awesome. So remote ID, if you don't know about it, you can go to that video or check any other video because, like I said, my newsfeed has just been completely cluttered with remote ID stuff. And the funny thing is a lot of the videos that have been pushed my way have been like obedience to remote ID. But ever since I made that video, I've been seeing a lot of other people's videos pop up of civil disobedience to remote ID. And it just cracks me up because there are some perfect comments in here. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through this video and I'm going to show you guys some of these. Yeah, so SPFPV6753 said, leave a smaller 200 gram in the bush. Then if someone shows up, crash somewhere they can't see or get to, pull out the 200 gram to show that ID is not required. And then Ghetto Gardens 1 said, always carry a decoy. That is hilarious. Oh, you guys' way of getting around things is so awesome. This other guy, okay, Doc Solon 2612 said, I have 2 loose wires connected to my flight controller. So if anyone confronts me about having remote ID, I can point to the wires and say, oh no, I just crashed and it must have fallen off somewhere. Oh, achievement genius unlocked. That was... And like I said, it's just not showing me all of them. Are those the only 2 it's going to show me that are funny? Because there's a bunch of them. Well, there's not a bunch, but there are some pretty funny ones. And for some odd reason, it's not showing me every comment that's on here. It's kind of frustrating. Those 2 were freaking hilarious, though. AIFPV-UJ6JQ said, remote ID? My quad has the right to remain silent. Anything it says or does can and will be used against me in a court of law. Oh, that's funny. I just love that, leaving a smaller drone in the bushes. That's hilarious. So there's a couple good ways to evade remote ID. So let me put this in a nutshell because it's not letting me go through these. So I'll just show those ones because those are funny. And if you guys have any more, leave them in the comments here because I love it. I do. If you guys have any good, funny, hilarious ways to evade remote ID, put it in the comments. The loose wires and the decoy drone, I mean, those are the 2 absolute best ways to do it. And I think the other ones that I was kind of laughing about were kind of similar to those. But if you guys don't know, in that video, I came up with an idea that all the people who sell drone stuff, and there's a comment in there that I was kind of commenting to of somebody else that, see, I'm trying to, since I was out of FPV for 2 years, I'm trying to consume 2 years worth of information in only a couple weeks. That way, whenever I can make videos and stuff, I'm actually as informative as I can possibly be. It's nice to see comments from people that correct some things and stuff like that. And my idea was that anybody who sells drone parts, like has a drone store online or anything like that, should have an extra button on there so you can donate. So, you know how gas stations, you can go into a gas station, they say, would you like to donate up to blah, blah, blah amount of money for Children's Hospital or anything like that. Like you could do that there, where you go to buy, say, like a flight control board that's like $80 and it says, would you like to round up to 90 to donate to protect FPV pilots from the FAA, then I think a lot of people would actually donate towards that. But giving the option, not forcing people to do it, would be even better. That way, budget people, it's still budget friendly. I think this whole hobby should be available to anyone and accessible to anyone. So even people who are on a budget should be able to get into this hobby and have a good time. So having the option, I think pilots would actually do it. I don't think, you know, after making that video and kind of talking about it a little bit, and I've watched a few more videos since then, I really don't think the drone community is anywhere near what we would like the drone community to be. I think and I don't think it's really a community per se. It's like just a hobby community. And I think that there's a lot of people that are into the hobby and care about the hobby and love going out and doing the hobby. But there's so many diverse different people. I don't think in a regular, say they went to high school together, I don't think Ladrib, Mr. Steele, and Joshua Bardwell and Bot Grinder, I don't think those four guys would even talk to each other or even become friends with each other. But because of this hobby, everybody kind of comes together. And they're so vastly different as people, but they understand one thing, and that's FPV. But I have seen a lot of people in comments on other people's videos and stuff bickering back and forth. I have seen people in there that if you're not a very good pilot, they'll actually get onto your videos and leave some pretty horrid comments about how bad of a pilot you are and stuff like that. And then there's also, I've seen other people that have like day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of FPV, you know, just learning how to fly. And they have a lot of support from other FPV pilots that get on and say, man, you're doing great for day 4. Man, you're doing awesome for day 5 and stuff like that. So, I mean, just the attitude towards FPV is vastly different. So there's this comment on here that by, let's just address this one because I really like this. I had that idea that they could set up like a donation thing. And I was talking about Get FPV and Race Day Quads. And Jimmy Freak, I'll show you guys this. It says, and you guys can, if you guys know more than either one of us about it, you guys can leave a comment. It said, didn't Tyler from RDQ do the whole lawyer thing and try to stop it initially? I'm not saying you're wrong. Let's see. Well, I'll just post this here so you guys can read it and read through it. But it's pretty informative. So Race Day Quads and Get FPV are merging, and that's something that I'm also learning from 2 years of being out of it. It seems like this Tyler guy would be the perfect guy to start this because it looks like he's already got a mindset to fight the FAA, and he's already tried. But out of pocket can only go so far. So it's one of those things like if he's already got Race Day Quads and he's getting Get FPV, I don't know if he's merging both of those into one website or not, but he would be the perfect one to beta test something like this where you can donate to protect pilots. And he can leave a disclaimer, make a video or something like that saying that he's doing a beta test. And if a certain amount of money is raised, then that money will go towards, you know, this endeavor and trying to protect pilots and stuff. But if a certain amount of money isn't raised in a certain amount of time, then we know that the hobby community could really care less about it and they'd rather just leave decoys in the bush, or they'd rather just hang wires off of their drones and stuff like that and just kind of evade, say screw it, and just buy the parts that they want to. But you can beta test it, and if that money doesn't reach what your expectations of it are to reach, then you can either just return the money or, hey, they're donations, just keep them. You know what I mean? At least we tried. I'd like to see it beta tested. I think Tyler would be the perfect person. And if there's anybody out there that knows Tyler or any big influencers, I think that first video, and I'll leave a link in the description if you guys would like, take that video, push it towards one of these bigger influencers. I don't know him. I'm not a big influencer. I'll admit I'm not a great pilot. I'm not a great speaker. I don't make I've been making a lot more videos lately, but I don't make a whole lot of videos. I just like making videos. I like editing videos. I like going out and doing things. I just like looking back. I like keeping track of things and seeing where I'm at certain points in my life and stuff. And I really love doing reviews. I really like helping people, like fixing stuff, fixing 3D printers and stuff, and doing reviews on products that I get. I don't ever have affiliate links to any of it because I don't mind that I'm not getting paid, but I just like to do honest reviews of certain things just so I can show people this is good or this is bad or that's bad or something like that, and just kind of help somebody out. I initially just like making YouTube videos for myself or to help other people. I'm not a big influencer. I'm not somebody that kind of has a mindset that would be able to even know where to start to reach out to anybody. But if you guys can push that video, it's kind of a really good answer to it. I mean, we could always do decoys and stuff all day long. Or you can post on your video that you're flying in Mexico, like I seen somebody else post. Push that or push this to one of the bigger influencers. I'd like to see one of them talk about it a little bit more and see if that's something that Tyler would be up to at least trying, running a beta test on. Like most of the pilots on there in the comments and stuff, I'm not going to change my flying habits. And I don't think most of the pilots out there are going to change their flying habits. I'm going to be as safe a pilot as I can possibly be. I'm not going to be, and I didn't say this in the last one, but I think, and everybody knows the video, if you're flying in and out of a moving train, that should be notated. And that, I mean, we shouldn't be doing things like that. I know it's not going to hurt anything. It's going to hurt the drone. It's not going to hurt the train itself. But I mean, train tracks are like federal. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something, a moving train. There's several other examples of people being completely unsafe. Like if you're in the middle of a park and there's a ton of little kids playing around and you're hauling balls and ripping around and doing this badass freestyle thing and barely missing them and stuff, then you shouldn't be doing that. And that should be universally to everybody. We should all be against something like that. But as long as you're being safe, like I don't want to have to go down to 250 grams and under. I don't want to have to fly a tiny whoop. I like flying tiny whoops. I have a little Emax tiny whoop. I enjoy it. Like I get out and I fly it and I just have a good time. I really do. But it's not something that I want to always have a good time with. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that will sustain me. It's a 1S. It doesn't have nearly the power that my 5-inch has. It doesn't go nearly as fast. You can't sling it as much. Like there's just something in a 5-inch and up that is totally different from this lightweight tiny whoop. Especially with as windy as Kansas is, you kind of need a heavier drone to fly around, or else you're just not going to have a good time because it just pushes tiny whoops around. That's kind of not an option for some of us. People that live in windier areas that have to deal with more like flat plain areas. I mean, Kansas has tons of windmills for a reason. There's 30, 40 mile an hour wind gust days where just flying a 5-inch is hard to do. Like I can imagine flying under like 600 grams or something, you know what I mean? Or under 500 grams. So we just need to make sure that in this hobby, we're protected and safe. And I think that the hobby itself, we need to be getting on other people's videos that do completely unsafe things. And I haven't seen very much. I think for the most part, even the worst of the worst in the hobby are still pretty safe about it. And they don't want this hobby being taken away from them. So, I mean, people who have fun with this generally do really good. And I haven't seen a whole lot of FPV videos in a busy park or anything like that. In fact, most FPV videos that I watch, there's barely anybody around. I think generally FPV pilots are some of the safest pilots out there. I really do. And if they break anything, typically they're just going to break their own stuff. So a few bad apples shouldn't dictate anything. And I think if you guys just want to ignore the whole thing, I get it. I really do. I get it. It just worries me sometimes. You know what I mean? Am I going to be out flying sometime and just la-da-da-da-da-da-da and forget a decoy drone? Or la-da-da-da-da, I forgot to put extra wires on this so I can have an excuse about a crash or something, like la-da-da-da-da. And then suddenly one day, sometime, somewhere, somebody shows up and goes, what's going on? Or somebody gets in my videos because I make YouTube videos. You know, maybe somebody starts looking at me, seeing a few flights that I have and start looking at me, start generating an investigation, start seeing, you know, this and that, and saying some things, even though I don't, even saying some things are unsafe or this or that. I don't want to risk that. So it'd be nice to have somebody on retainer, somebody who's willing to fight this. And it'd be nice to have a community who's willing to donate to some type of a website. And it'd be nice to have somebody like Tyler at Race Day Quads or Get FPV to make a button where we can donate to somebody who has somebody for that, like insurance, Race Day Quads pilot insurance. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool. My name is Bryce Michael RC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, the video of me flying is literally the first 2 batteries. It's basically recon, and all I was doing was reviewing the 1960 kV motors, which are pretty good, by the way. The Axis flying 18 or 1960 kV motors. I actually really dig them. I'm going to fly them a whole lot more. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. I'm just kind of trying different things. My battery's screaming, but it's still 5.5 minutes. I mean, okay, I better stop. Okay, anyways, guys, that is the, let me get it to stop beeping.